reports, there are so many here, and which is why this will be good that you have the recording, because then you can look at them in detail. But these are the kind of essential reports you will have in any agile delivery. You want to know the progress of your features. So during the PI planning, we agreed that we're going to implement these 10 features over the course of the PI. You're tracking as we go along. Are we going to be in trouble at the end of week 10 or week 12? So that's a good measure. Program predictability measure is also a very good one, because at the PI planning, you had a number of objectives. You said we're going to implement a system for customers to be able to log issues. You've put all of those down. The business owner then came around and said, this has got the highest business value. It's a 10. That one is a 5. That one is a 9. So you have your business values. So you effectively are saying that we are going to implement during this PI, we're going to work on our features and generate 20, a business value of 20, say, for instance, because based on what the numbers the business owner has assigned to each of the objectives. But we then come to the end of the PI and we couldn't do it. We only achieved 10. So that's now a 50% predictability. We did not achieve our goals. Or maybe we achieved 15 out of 20, or we achieved 18 out of 20. Then we're like, oh wow, 90%, we're not bad at all, okay? It's important that we know that, because one of the things we're aiming for is to be as predictable as possible. We want to know what our velocity is and that we're working at that velocity. We want to know, were we working at our velocity, but we had external factors that stopped us from being predictable. Maybe we were waiting on the data team and we never got the data we needed on time. That means the reason why you're measuring that is not because you want to blame the data team. It's not because you want to blame anyone, but you want to get to the root cause of why we were not predictable so that we can become more predictable next time. And so remember that last time we talked about having the retrospectives at the end of the PI. This predictability measure is one of the things that we'll be looking at in that retrospective to say, why could we not achieve it? And what do we need to do differently for the next PI to make sure we achieve it? Then the cumulative flow diagram is another one that you get out of your systems like the Azure, the Jira Align, all of those, right? And they show you the different states of the Kanban and where the bottlenecks are. You know, when we're looking at the Kanban earlier on, we're saying that there could be bottlenecks in the system. You can see where things are getting stuck in the system. So it helps you know what to tackle. Okay? Then you have things like how many deployments do we have? How many releases do we have per sprint or iteration and per PI? You also know how did the program perform, right? So you're comparing PI by PI to see, are we improving? Are we getting better? What are we doing PI by PI? Okay? And same thing with iteration by iteration. So these are essential reports that you will have. Apart from the essential reports, for each value stream, they will also have a range of metrics, right? So you're looking at how if you're looking at the different types of value streams will have different types of measures, for instance. Okay, so we have if you're a web service that you want more customers to be on your service, like Zoom wants more people on their service and they want us to stay there, then they want to know how many did we acquire, how many are actually active, because you know you could have millions of users and only a minuscule number of them actually are using the platform. What revenue are we generating from them? Are they referring their friends and family to use our system? Those are the kind of metrics. So for different value streams, you have different types of KPIs that you're looking at that help you know whether you're doing well or not. What's our net promoter score? Net promoter score is when you ask that question, would you refer us to your friends or family? And is it a 10 or is it a 1, right? So you want to know how many are your promoters versus how many are your detractors. And you want to get the average of that. That's the net. And know what can we do to increase number of promoters. So a whole raft of metrics you have there depending on the type of organization that you are. You also have your lean portfolio metrics. And this is our final slide. And here you're looking at a whole range of what I would call leading indicators again, right? If you are thinking as an organization about your employee engagement, then you have your ENPS as well, your employee net promoter score. When you have this service regularly and ask your employees, do you like working here? Would you get your family to work here? If everybody says, no, I won't get my family to work here, then they don't like it, right? So that tells you it's not a good place to work. So all those kinds of metrics are there. And like I said, because you're going to get recording, you will see all of these on the slides and you can, take pictures of them or.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So for example, if you wanted to measure time to market, and this is where I'm talking about leading indicators rather than just outputs or activities or vanity metrics. Time to market. If you wanted to measure your time to market, you really want to know how many times did we release our products to the market. That's a different thing from how many times did we deploy to production. You could finish all of the work you're doing in your iteration and it never gets to the market until 4 months later because they're waiting for a big batch. So if you're only measuring how many times they finish their sprints, it doesn't tell you anything. How many stories they finish the sprint, it doesn't tell you anything if it never got to the market, if it never got released. Or if you're thinking about your quality and your defects are going up and up and up, even though they're releasing, the defects are just going through the roof, then there's a problem there. You need to count those defects and see, are the support calls increasing in number? How many defects are we not finding? Why? And the reasons for all these measures are so you can get to the root cause and resolve them. They're not for punishment. And that's a big shift for a lot of people that manage because they're only willing to crack the whip as opposed to fix or understand the problem so that we can prevent and stop the problem from happening in future. So as I said, that's the last slide and we've come to the end of this. There are other things you can read. There's a lot on the SAFE website. There are a number of books I've posted here. The one by Felipe Castro is actually a free one. It's a free ebook.
Nice.
To OKRs. And then the other two, you can get them on Amazon. I just finished reading Measure What Matters, and it's an amazing book. And Safe Distilled is everything that's on the Safe website, just condensed into a book so that you've got it handy if you wanted that. Yeah.
So. Yeah, that sounds quite good actually, because I think that website can maybe be a bit intimidating in terms of where you start. So I think it's good to have something, like you said, distilled that you can just
absolutely
quickly,
absolutely. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. So I've got lots to read through and try and digest. But no, it's a great start.